Hi, my name is Maddie Huberty, and I am 8 months postpartum with my first baby. I heard about Postpartum Care USA actually through my local Facebook moms group. I'm actually located near Stacia, and so a lot of moms recommended her when I posted that I was struggling with postpartum. I finally chose to invest in postpartum recovery care with Stacia and her team when I was really at my wit's end. I had seen my OB and they had recommended that I get on a medication to help with my anxiety and depression that I was dealing with postpartum at my 6-week appointment. And I felt like there was something deeper that was wrong. I just really felt absolutely not like myself. My baseline felt so out of whack. So I had talked to a few friends. I'm a nurse myself, so I had a few friends who had also gone through this and had been on the medical side of things, and they recommended that I tried to see what the root cause was. And I'm really glad that my husband and I chose to take a little bit of time and try to figure out a root cause rather than jumping right into medications, which are super helpful for some people, but for me I knew there was something that I needed that was deeper. Specifically postpartum, I was struggling with everything that you could imagine. I was anxious at all hours of the day, but specifically at nighttime. I could barely even handle thinking about bedtime and nighttime. I was having some rage, which is so far from how I was pre-pregnancy. I was pretty calm and steady, and suddenly I had this rage towards anyone and everyone, especially my little tiny baby. It was affecting my life because I just truly could not even function, not as a mom, not as a wife, not even as a human. I couldn't talk about anything without sobbing or crying or just feeling like I did not want to have a baby. Like I couldn't do it. There was no way that I could get through this postpartum journey. It was affecting everything. I couldn't leave the house. It was really frightening, to be honest. Specifically, the team over at Postpartum Care USA did so much for me by first drawing a huge lab panel that my OB didn't draw, which is understandable because they don't quite have the same understanding into root cause that the Postpartum Care USA team has. So they drew a huge lab panel and were quickly able to see that I was struggling with a thyroid issue called Hashimoto's. Not only did they help provide lots of supplements, which worked quickly, but they also got me on a diet plan, which helped the inflammation of my thyroid come back down and helped me feel just so quickly start to feel more like a human again. I loved that they were readily available when I would email any of the providers or nurses about maybe an appointment I had or questions I'd had following an appointment. They got back to me quickly. It was so easy to schedule. The whole team was really responsive, even if I was texting late at night while I was nursing my baby or emailing them late at night, or if I was emailing them early in the morning, they were quickly getting back to me, which helped me just take a deep breath. Whereas when I called my provider, my OB provider, it could take a few business days for them to get back to me. I loved that they had a handle on what it meant to get things right from the inside out. They had recommendations for me from the jump as to what I could start doing. So I felt like I was not crazy. I was not getting gaslit, that this was just part of postpartum normalcy. Something was wrong and they were ready to tackle it. My experience at Postpartum Care USA was one that I've recommended to many moms. It's life-changing and life-giving. I truly don't know how I would have made it out of postpartum had I not reached out to Postpartum Care USA. I even if a mom cannot afford the top tier that they recommend, there are other options. There's payment plans. I absolutely have already recommended this. I'll recommend it for future moms. Even the next time I go through postpartum, it'll be a great tool to have in my tool belt, with all of the help that they gave me in this current postpartum. It was an incredible experience. I'm so thankful I did it, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.